Remember when I predicted the Blue Marvel chase was going to be another example of the devs hand-holding us through content?
Previously.
Finally, non-mythic global. This looks like freedom, but if I were a betting man, I'd say the Hellfire Club global characters and maybe Damon Hellstrom from the Brimstone are the intended picks.
Free to play till the very end.
Welcome out, the Datamines are out, and it turns out that that prediction was basically spot on. There's only one small change, but it's a big clue about where the game is heading next. So today I want to walk you through what got confirmed, what shifted, and where my thoughts are going now about what this means for Marvel Strike Force going forwards. And you know, the funny thing about this prediction is that the video where I first talked about it didn't actually get that many views. But that's probably on me. Either the thumbnail or the title didn't land the way it should have. But in that video, I talked about how the upcoming Blue Marvel chase was showing all the signs of being another guided event. And if you're now curious about that video and want to see exactly how I broke down that prediction, there's a link up in the top corner here and in the pinned comment below. Now, first off, I want to give a huge shout out to Boilon and Rayge Gaming for the amazing work they do covering the Datamines. Seriously, both of them do fantastic work breaking down the details as they drop into the game files, and a lot of what we're about to talk about comes from their coverage. So first up, in case you didn't know, this Blue Marvel chase isn't being called a Dark Dimension or a Blue Marvel Saga. Its event name is actually Target Blue Marvel. Now, I want to stress something important here. Datamines, they're a lot like the weekly blogs. They are subject to change before going live. But in all my time playing this game, I've rarely seen them change much or be wrong. So let's start with the first key piece of information, the mission types. And if we look here, we can see that missions 1 through 3 are labeled as Dark Dimension in the Datamine text. Now, this would activate any abilities like the Eternals, Ghost, Val, any of those characters that have additional benefits when in Dark Dimension. But to me, right here confirms the structure of the event. Even though they didn't use the name, it is a Dark Dimension style event, just without the branding. That means these missions will be sequential. You'll need to clear mission 1 before you can move on to mission 2, and then to mission 3, and so on. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Missions 4 and 5 are showing the raid game mode. That honestly threw me off a bit at first, but it might also mean they've actually changed the node order from the graphic we saw in the original blog. Because if we look further down in the Datamine text, we can see this line right here. Gather non-mythic city, cosmic, global, and conqueror characters at ISO 8 tier 3 level 4/5. That definitely suggests the node order has shifted. So what does that mean for us? Well, if raids are active, that probably means that those first 2 nodes are for the city teams. And there are only 2 full city teams with any raid text in their kits. Vigilantes and, surprise, surprise, Insidious 6 with Vulture and Shocker. So that's likely your city section right there. Then we move on to missions 6 and 7. These are likely going to be the cosmic nodes, and they're tagged with the arena game mode. But who's great in arena and has the cosmic tag? You guessed it, the Fantastic Four MCU. And finally, missions 8 and 9, these are showing the war game mode active. And who's just coming out now who are perfectly tuned for war, and the team happens to be mostly global? That's right, Brimstone. And if we scroll down further into the Datamine text, we can actually see the requirements for each section. And right down here under the global section, it literally says 5 non-mythic global or Brimstone. So yes, they're explicitly letting us take the entire Brimstone team onto this node. That includes Doctor Strange Heartless, who is a cosmic character, allowing him to go into the global section. And if that wasn't enough of a sign about what they want us to use in this event, they've even added modifiers. These cards or mods are going to influence the battle bonuses. So let's take a look at those next. So first up, we have the card Target Blue Marvel 01 Insidious Allies. On spawn, Shocker and Vulture gain the Insidious 6 trait. ID Target Blue Marvel card 2, always ready. On spawn, Insidious 6 allies gain 100% turn meter. That's pretty impactful. Barrier Up, which is card 3. On kill, barrier all Insidious 6 allies for 100% of their max health, plus apply Safeguard and immunity for 2 turns to all Insidious 6 allies. Those 3 buffs alone are absolutely brilliant for the Insidious 6. Then we have card 4, Fantastic Energy. On kill, using Fantastic Four MCU allies, each Fantastic Four MCU ally gains 3 ability energy. Now, if you know anything about the Fantastic Four MCU, and we've learned this a lot from the Quasar trial, you know that their energy regeneration is rubbish, and that's what they really need to make this team sing really well, because they've got some pretty high cost abilities. So if they're going to get 3 ability energy back on every single kill on the node, that is absolutely game changing. Target Blue Marvel card 5, Cutting Speed. On spawn, Fantastic Four allies gain offense up and speed up for 2 turns. With the arena game mode active, they're already quick. Giving them speed up makes them even quicker, and giving them offense up off the bat, oh my God. Then we have card 6, which is Enduring Brimstone. On spawn, Brimstone allies gain immunity and Safeguard for 2 turns. That is pretty strong. And then we have card number 7, which is Brimming with Energy. On spawn, generate 6 ability energy for Brimstone allies. That means you're not going to have to worry about how you finish a node off, because when you go into the very next node that you need your Brimstone on, you will actually have full energy on all your team. And then finally, we have one more mod for this Blue Marvel for the Brimstone, which is Speed Kills. And on kill, Brimstone allies are going to gain 20% speed bar. Again, absolutely devastating with characters like Damon Hellstrom and Hellcat, who are already super duper fast. So what does all this mean for us, Commander? Well, first off, it is confirming a pattern. Every time we see a new high-end event like this, the structure and the node buffs are pushing us straight towards the newest releases. It's not just a coincidence anymore. It's literally by design. We're being guided to build specific teams at specific progression levels in a very specific order. Now, that's not automatically a bad thing. For newer or returning players, this kind of clarity will actually help. It's going to keep them from wasting resources on characters that won't see much use. And if you're one of those players just starting out, I've got a new video coming soon that will walk you through how to start strong in the current Marvel Strike Force environment. It's the perfect starting point for anyone trying to navigate the game as it is today. But for veteran players, it really narrows the sandbox. It means our options for creativity, for problem solving, are getting smaller with every single release. And as we continue through this year's content, the Age of Annihilus, I think we're going to see this approach become more and more prominent. Each new event will feel a little more structured, a little more directed, and a little less about player discovery. So while on the surface it looks like choice, in practice we're just being moved from one checkpoint to the next. All Alright, Commander, so let's talk about characters I'm currently thinking about for Target Blue Marvel. And this is my current lineup based on everything we've seen in the Datamines, the mission game mode, and what's actually viable for most players right now. Now, this graphic, which will be on the Jetson Squad Discord, shows all the characters I'm currently thinking of for this event. The main thing that is in limbo at present is which of the Conquerors to build for the first section. And this, I'll be honest, is going to largely depend on that node order. If City are the first traded nodes we're going to come across, as is in the Datamines, then I'd be silly not to do mostly purple 4 and 5 on my Insidious 6. Maybe with a couple of characters for the next area, which is Cosmic. Likewise, if the first area after the Conquerors area is Cosmic, as was shown in the blog, then honestly, I would do my whole Cosmic section. And of course, this list might evolve a bit once Target Blue Marvel goes live. But based on what we know now, those characters should give you the smoothest path through the event without over-investing into anything off meta. And you know, Commander, the more I think about this, the more questions I have running through my head. Why have the developers decided to go this route with our chase content? And when I say why, I'm not just talking about the traits or the teams. I'm talking about the whole design philosophy. Why haven't they kept it like the past Dark Dimensions, where the enemies on the nodes were the real deciding factor, and the challenge came from countering them, not being buffed into one specific team choice? Why are they dumbing the game down like this? Is it because of a lack of staff or development time? Or is this truly the type of content that the largely non-vocal part of the community wants? And maybe the biggest question, is this new style of content actually making them more revenue than the older, more open-ended events? What do you think, Commander? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. And while you're there, tell me how you're planning to prepare for Blue Marvel now that we've seen all this new information come to light. And as always, if you want to keep the conversation going, come join us over in the Jetson Squad Discord. Links down below in the description. And if you missed my original breakdown where I first called this out, check it out right here.